I am excited. I think it's going to be a very good final. Both players deserve to be in the final. I think it's going to be a really interesting matchup. Both have big personalities, which is always fun. And in my opinion, and I might be wrong, but both have completely different game styles. Fargo is more aggressive. He's a rusher. He's very predatory. Whereas Sexy is very calculated. He's strategic, and he almost chokes you out the game by surrounding you with his map control. So I think it's going to be a really interesting final.
Yeah, of course I am. It's the biggest tournament of the year in 0 Hour. The winner tends to get an expert badge. So yeah, there's a lot involved, lots of drama. So yes, I'm excited.
Man, what kind of a dumb question, I'm sorry, but of course, man, this is like the World Cup for 0 Hour. It can't get any better than that. You got Fargo, who's played very good in the last half year or so, probably more. Sexy, who is basically a 0 Hour legend. He's been playing this game since, God tell me why, 2005? Maybe later, 2006, 2004, I don't really know. But he's a 0 Hour God legend. Those two are going up for the final. Man, can it get any better than that? Let's have it, man. I'm so up for it. I'm so down and I'm so gonna watch. Let's get it rolling.
Well, no, not really excited. I'm too old for this shit to be really excited for who will win. But I want to see some drama and some good games, hopefully, so I'm going to watch it.
Yes, I'm excited because it's the biggest 0 Hour event of the year with the best players in, and for me it was the first World Series where I took part as a streamer, and to be honest, it was funny.
I have. I mean, I think there's been some very poor games, but there's also been some very interesting games, and there's been some surprise knockouts, and of course the drama on game replays, which you have to love. But yeah, overall, I'd say I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I enjoyed your podcast you made, or your videos, I mean. They were pretty good, so I didn't have to download all the replays.
Of course I have. What kind of a question? Then Logica was one of the favorites. He got kicked out by an old expert called Carol. DoMiNaToR was one of the big favorites. He got kicked out by Sexy. Man, it's the tournament of the underdogs. That's what we want to see. I love it, man. So much drama, so much enjoyment for the viewers. I just love it, man. It's the best time of the year for 0 Hour.
Yes, I enjoyed the World Series. A lot of things happened, like the comeback of Oldie, with him beating the favorite of the tournament, Logica. Many games were streamed, which was also really good.
Yes, of course, I really enjoyed it so far. There were so many entertaining games, for example, thrilling games like Caro versus Logica. Caro played damn good after such a long time out, and it was a very big surprise for all that he kicked Logica out so early. Yeah.
So my favourite games was probably Boyka against Awen Emperor 125. There was some incredibly creative build orders from Awen, including the 1-minute delayed supply stash build as GLA, and my particular favourite was the very aggressive tunnelling of the church in Forgotten Forest, which he was incredibly unlucky to lose in that game, and if it wasn't for Boyka's bug abuse and map hack, I really think we could have seen Awen go through that round. But I did also enjoy the GLA mirror between Firelord and Like Easy. Both players opted to go with the same battle plan of completely boring the opposition off the pitch, off the game, and forcing them to quit. So it was intense from the very start to see who had the greatest mental stability in that sense. And there's no surprise Like Easy lost in this area. But even so, the Armenian showed huge determination.
I like the games between Caro and MC, I guess, because MC is new to me. I don't know who he is, and he used some very strange strategies, and they even worked. And also the games between DoMiNaToR and Sexy, I think, because they were, in my opinion, the highest level of play. So yeah, those two, I guess.
Well, the Caro versus Logica series and the Sexy versus DoMiNaToR series. Well, not speaking for the result, but it was close regardless, and it was competitive, and there was a lot of drama around it. That's what we want to see, man. Really enjoyed that stuff.
For sure, Logica versus Oldie. This brought a lot of attention to the tournament. Also, Sexy vs DoMiNaToR, where DoMiNaToR's YouTube fans were cheering for him in the stream and believing he's the best player of the world.
To be honest, for me it's a very evil question, cause there are too many good games. For example, Caro versus Logica, DoMiNaToR versus Sexy, or Fargo versus Boyka. In every set were magic moments. So it's really hard to say for me.
I would say overall weaker compared to other World Series. There were still some great games between Caro, Logica, DoMiNaToR, but I have to admit I did miss Rage and Size, and particularly in the early rounds there were some pretty weak players. You know, I have a saying where if I can beat you in a 1 vs 1, you're not very good. And there were some players this year that I genuinely think I could have beaten, so I would have preferred to have seen other players there, better players. But that being said, there were still some new players I was particularly impressed with. Particularly that player called Skubda or Scuba. I mean, you could definitely tell he was a new player, but I thought he played very well in the circumstances. He had some very interesting tactics for an entry-level player, and I hope the result of this World Series doesn't put him off taking part in other World Series.
Not really, actually. I've seen a lot of bad games. I think in previous years there were more contenders for the title. So yeah, not really.
Yeah, I think so. Scuba has been taking part, he's an expert. DoMiNaToR has been taking part, Herb has been taking part, Logic has been taking part. Those are expert players. It might be that their results weren't so good, and Size and Rage, which are basically the best 1v1 players that we've seen in this tournament, might have not taken part, but man, I enjoyed it regardless. It was close results, it was good fun. There was some noobs in the tournament, like myself, by the way. I got bounced by Freestyler for a zip, but man, that shit happens, man. That's, by the way, a message to the noobs or new participants in this tournament. Keep up the good stuff, keep hustling. You will get better one day and be able to compete with the pros. Just keep it up, don't quit.
Well, I think it was an okay tournament. We had a bigger pool of decent players who could win this tournament. In the end, we had 5 experts, but 3 of them were rusty. And all of them are out. The top players, Size and Rage, were really missing. Also, Crazy and Google would bring this tournament to another level.
It was well mixed. Some newbies, some old schooler, and the typical pros. This is why I say it was good balance this year.
My money is on Sexy. I think overall he's been performing better, he's in better form, and he goes into the final in better form. But of course, anything can happen on the night.
Sexy, I guess. But I haven't played 1v1 for 7 years, so who knows. I hope Sexy wins at least, because Fargo is a moron.
Well, it's a close battle, I think. Fargo likes to lame a lot, which isn't bad per se. He likes to doze around, he likes to make lame build orders, and Sexy is more of a defensive player, likes to keep his stuff together and not rush anything. But in the end of the day, I think Sexy's experience will win, and I hope it will give him an expert badge, which he has been yearning for and he has deserved for a long time, because he's like a really good player and is not taken that serious by the other pros, and he has deserved that win, especially because he got defeated last year in the finals. He has deserved that one.
Well, I met Sexy personally years ago in a LAN and we played very often, so of course I hope he will win. It is a 50% thing, while I think that he's a slightly better player. Question will be if he can play his best. Fargo is more of an all-in player, so we probably see some shorter games.
Sorry to say, but from the start of the tourney I thought, yeah, that Sexy will win. I think this pink Bavarian badass has enough experience and the necessary skills to win it.
I just want to say huge thanks to the streamers. You've all made it possible for me personally to watch. I haven't downloaded any replays, I've watched them all on YouTube. And the work that you do is sometimes taken for granted and not appreciated. So thank you to Marlborough, I think I've said that right, Muffin, DoMiNaToR, Logica, and of course c&CHD for organising all of this.
Yeah, Fargo is an illegal immigrant to the UK, so he should be kicked back to Albania. And Scuba is a ginger.
Still, guys, don't dodge. Keep up the competitiveness, stop the flaming, and give us streamers and casters some GGs to stream, because we like to keep the community apart, because I can speak for Muffin and myself. We can't find the level that you experts got, but still, we like to be a part of it and just showcase what you guys got. Keep up the good work and stop the flaming. GGs.
Well, many people should stop being so paranoid. Sexy's playing himself. You can see it in each game through his playstyle. Also, thanks to all of the streamers, it was really fun.
I wish both players good luck and may the force be with them. And last but not least, big thank you to Domi for streaming the finals, and now enjoy the games!